Right. Hey guys, just give me a minute here to get set up. Just want to make sure that we are all set so I can answer any questions you guys might have while we're in the middle of the presentation. All right. So it looks like we're good to go. So we have a lot of people logging in there. Why don't I give it another minute just to give everybody a chance to get on that wants to get on, and then we will get started. All right, I guess that's long enough. Hey, my name is Johnny Barfield, and I am the the center manager for the West Cobb Senior Center. And I'm the one who's going to be doing your presentation today, cutting the cord. Just a couple of things before we start. If you have any questions during the course of this, feel free to type it here in the comments section. I have another computer here where I can see your comments, and then I can answer them as you post them. The other thing is, I'd like to do, I am not representing any companies here. I work for Cobb County Government, Cobb County Senior Services. So I'm not trying to sell you on any services. I'm just trying to arm you with a little bit of knowledge. The other thing is, I'm not an expert in this. There's really no experts in this. It's such an amalgamation of a bunch of different things combined that there's no real central kind of experts. There's so many different companies. So I've done a lot of research in it. I do it myself, and I really enjoy it. I think it's a good thing to do if it fits your lifestyle. All right. Well, hello, Joan Rockwell. All right, looks like we got a good number of people signed on now. So, cutting the cable cord. I guess most of you are here just to try to get rid of your cable company, right? So what is cord cutting? Cord cutting is the practice of canceling your cable television subscription and using an alternate, usually internet-based or over-the-air service for your television viewing. This, can be an antenna on top of your, on your window or on top of your roof. It can be services like Netflix, Amazon Prime. It can be, Sling TV. There's a lot of different services that can give you your television beyond just the cable company. Also known as streaming. I might use that word a lot. Streaming is basically downloading video from the internet, and watching it on your TV or on your computer. So if you hear me say streaming, that's what I mean. The thing that's kind of important to know, though, is cutting your cable bill can drastically reduce the cost of your television viewing. But if you're not careful, it can also get more expensive. There's a lot of different services out there, and if you don't pay attention, you might end up, buying so many services, you're going over what your cable bill was in the first place. So you really have to be an educated consumer if you decide to, try this lifestyle out. All right, and like I said, there's many different options for watching TV without the high cost of cable television subscription. And we're going to be going over not all of them. It'd be impossible to go over all of them. But most of the most popular ones, we're going to go over. All right. There's likely no single alternative that will meet all your needs. The thing about cable is it is convenient. So maybe that's what you're paying for, is the convenience of you pay this one company and you're basically getting everything you need. With cord cutting, more than likely, you're going to be subscribing to 2-3 services. And those will be different. The services you choose will be different based upon what it is you're wanting to get out of your television viewing. All right. So let's do a couple of myths about this. And I know we've had a couple more people join since I started. So again, if you have any questions about anything as we go along, just feel free to make a comment in the comment section. I can address it at a later time. So a couple of myths. First myth, if I cut the cord, I have to give up live television. Now, this is not the case. You can have live TV, including all your major broadcast channels, local news, and sports for free over the air, just like you always have. People kind of forgot that it's there. ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS. You didn't used to have to pay for those, and you still don't. They're still out there over the air. Also, and this probably wasn't the case a couple of years ago, or definitely not when cord cutting started, but now you can watch live television, live cable television, or cable television through a streaming service without, being tied to Comcast or, DirecTV or whoever. There are a lot of different services now that allow you to watch that live programming without a contract with a cable company. Second myth. If I cut the cord, I have to stream everything from the internet. That's definitely not true. 47 of the top 50 television shows are available over the air with your antenna. No streaming or subscription required. Now, you probably are going to be streaming a lot from the internet, though. Especially if you're using stuff like Netflix, Amazon Prime, you're going to be streaming it from the internet. But there are a lot of options out there. Like I said, all the major broadcast channels are still out there for free, over the air, no internet connection required. Another myth. If I cut the cord, I have to give up my cable shows. Again, that is not the case. You can watch all your cable shows and only pay for what you want. When you pay for cable, you're paying for a ton of channels you don't watch. With this cord cutting, you can either watch your shows on demand, you could purchase a subscription to a streaming service that allows you to watch it live, but has not that huge range of stuff that you don't watch on it. So you definitely do not have to give up watching your cable shows. All right, so we're going to go over some reasons to cut the cord. Obviously, save money is the big reason, everybody's here. Nobody likes, shelling out those big payments to your cable company. So I think I made this slide about 2 years ago, so it's a little bit out of date, but the prices are still going to be comparable. Annually, the average cable bill is about $1,236, while a year of subscription to Netflix, Hulu, and Sling TV, which are three streaming options, all three of them together, $432 annually. Now again, they've gone up a little bit in their prices, probably in the last 2 years, but so is the cable company. So that discrepancy is still going to be pretty big. You could save a lot of money with this. The average cable subscriber only pays for about 189 channels, but only watches 17 regularly. I think one of the first things that got me interested in this is I was reading an article about how much of your, how your cable bill was kind of split up. Like it said, I paid about $10 a month for ESPN. It was $10 or $8 a month for ESPN. I don't watch sports. And that was kind of frustrating, thinking about how much money I was throwing out the window for something that I have no interest in. Freedom is another big one. There's no long-term contracts with these guys. You're paying by the month, and it's very easy to cancel. All right, like I said, it's easy to sign up and cancel. I think when I canceled with Comcast, I was on the phone for about 45 minutes. When I canceled one of these services one time, it took me less than 5 minutes to go onto the website and just press cancel. It's very easy to sign up for and cancel. And most of them offer, try it before you buy it type of things. It can be, a month of it for free, a month with no obligation, obviously, to 3 months of it free. So you can try this out and, kind of just dip your toe in the water. And next one's kind of a hippie one, but I do like to mention it. Watching TV with a purpose. I definitely find myself watching less TV because of this. And it's not because I don't have a ton of options. I actually have more options than I could ever watch. It's just you end up watching less. When you're done with a show, when you're watching on cable, the TV just is designed to keep you watching because they want you to watch commercials. But when you're done watching a movie on Netflix, you have to sit there and go, all right, what am I going to do with my time now? Am I gonna, go out, do a little bit of gardening? Am I gonna read a book? Am I gonna go play a game? So you find yourself watching less TV, and I think that's a good thing for anybody. See, somebody asked, what is ESPN? Well, that is actually a sports channel, a whole bunch of sports channels, which I do not watch any of. But you pay a ton. They kind of have a big grip on the cable companies, actually. So you pay a ton of your cable bill is going towards ESPN, which again was frustrating for me because I do not watch sports. And again, less commercials. Notice I did not say no commercials, because some of these services, if you want to watch live TV still through one of these services, you will be watching the commercials just like you would with cable. Some of the options might have a cheaper service which will play little commercials, have their own commercials in there for you. So I did not say no commercials. Most of the time you'll be watching a lot less though. And again, I kind of mentioned this before, it's easy to try. If you're a little hesitant about it after this, you're still, I don't know if I want to do this. You can still sign up for these things, most of them, for a month, sometimes up to 3 months without paying for it. And just try it out. I say just, try to tell yourself, I'm not going to cancel it yet. I don't feel comfortable doing that. But I will not use my cable TV. I will just try to watch Netflix, for this month. I'll try to watch Hulu for this month and see what it's like. See if you can do it before you make the commitment. And then, like I said, it's easy to try because it's easy to sign up for and easy to cancel if you don't like it. All right, reasons not to cut the cord. Hold on, let's look at a question real fast. I don't have a smart TV. Do I have to watch it on my computer? No, definitely not. And we're going to be going over the devices that you would have to watch it on your television a little bit later in the presentation. So reasons not to cut the cord. First, you have to be an educated consumer. With cable, you pay the cable company and they give you what you want. You're paying a lot of money, but they're giving it to you. With this, you have to know, what do I want to watch and where do I find that? What service do I have to be able to watch what I want to watch? There is an upfront cost, not a huge upfront cost. You will have to buy the device that you want to use. Those are pretty inexpensive. Most of them are starting at like $30 to buy one of these things. And then you own it outright. It's not like a cable box where you're renting it from the cable company every month. Like if you buy a Roku, and we'll go over that later. If you buy a Roku, you own the Roku. It's yours for life, and you pay that $30 and you're done with it. Delayed access. Depending upon the service you provide, this might not be the case, but delayed access for some of your programming. Sometimes you might have to wait a year to watch your show. For instance, I watch Better Call Saul on AMC, and they just ended their 5th season live. So if I want to wait until Netflix has it, I'm going to have to be patient and wait a year probably until it ends up on Netflix. So there is delayed access, but that is unless you go with one of the live streaming options, which again, we'll go over a little bit later. All right, so what do you need? All right, so you're going to need basically 4 things. High-speed internet is definitely a must, because a lot of your programming is going to be through the internet, so you need that internet connection. A digital antenna. Now I put or do you because that I don't have one, but a lot of people swear by them, and especially if you're into like your local channels like ABC, NBC, Fox, you want to watch your local news, then a digital antenna is probably a pretty good option for you. Streaming services. These are the actual what you're going to subscribe to get your television. This is stuff like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Sling TV. And then a streaming device. Somebody had asked about a smart TV. A smart TV is an example of a streaming device. But you do not have to buy a smart TV because you want to do this. You can just buy a little Roku, a little Amazon Fire device. which are a lot cheaper than buying a whole new TV. Let's see what do we got here. All right. It sounds like you were having somebody asked on here, I had a subscription with ESPN to watch more soccer games, but had streaming problems at times where the little circle kept spinning around for a while. That sounds like a buffering issue. And that's something you would need to call your internet provider about. That's a connection issue, more than likely. Somebody asked, how about sports shows, college football, European soccer? That's always been kind of a sticky subject with cord cutting until recently. ESPN has their own streaming service. A lot of the live streaming services also include ESPN and all these extra little sports channels that come along with ESPN. So those are definitely doable through streaming. Like I said, it wasn't always the case. That used to be the big sticky subject, is you could not do that. But finally, these sports companies finally came around and saw that people were doing it, and if they wanted to, keep getting your money, they would have to kind of get with the times. All right, first I'm going to go over the antenna. A lot of people forgot that, you can still get these broadcast channels over the air for free. All the local stations are free over the air in HD, high definition. No internet connection. The important things about the digital antenna are you get the local stations and you get them for free. The good thing about this is, you're not using your bandwidth, your internet connection. So it's not draining on that. Also, sometimes streaming services will not have all of your local channels. Like some might have ABC but not have NBC, that type of thing. You'll get access to all of your local stuff through that. Let's see. Local news and sports. Another very important thing about this is PBS. Now, I don't think PBS has their streaming. They're looking into it right now, but PBS is not available that I know of, that I've researched, through any streaming service right now. So if PBS is important to you, they are not included with anything. So if you want them, you have to have the antenna. And I don't know when they're going to work that out. They have so many things on PBS. There's kind of a lot of rights issues, copyright issues they have to work through to get this going. So right now, if PBS is important to you, you need an antenna. Let's see. So you got to have an antenna to get them. Now this isn't the old, rabbit ears with the aluminum foil on it anymore. I think they made the switch in 1996 to a digital signal, so it has to be a digital antenna. But these are very easy to install. They, most of you would be okay with an indoor antenna. And that's really just, about the size of a thin sheet of paper that you stick on your window. It can have limited reception if you're, close to, a mountain, or if you got a lot of trees, you might have a problem with an indoor antenna because the reception isn't all that great, but they're inexpensive. I think they started about $20-$30 for one of these. If you are in a bad area, then you might have to go for an outdoor option for an antenna. This is a little bit more expensive because it probably does require a professional installation. Probably looking at somewhere between $150 to $200 to do that. And again, an antenna, like I said, antenna is not that important, especially if you just want to kind of dip your toe in it. Most of this cord cutting is about the streaming services. But like I said, if those local stations are important to you, and especially if you want PBS, then an antenna is definitely something you're going to need to look into. If you're wanting to know what channels you will receive, because besides just the local channels, there are a lot of weird stations out there kind of in the air. Go to antennaweb.org, and you can actually put in your address there, and it'll let you know what channels you're going to be getting with an antenna. Like I said, most are less than $40. So definitely not a huge investment to get that in. All right, let's see. I include a little bit about DVR. Some people really want their DVR with their antenna. I wouldn't recommend it. Most of the reason you want a DVR is because you want to watch things on demand. You want to be able to skip commercials. And you're going to be able to do that with a lot of the streaming services. But say you didn't want any streaming services and you wanted an antenna just to get those local stations, and you're fine. They do have DVRs that are available that you can purchase. Some are subscription based, and some you can just buy outright. If you're going to buy it outright, you're looking at a huge price though. Again, I don't really recommend going for a DVR for just your local channels, but I do get questions about it when I've taught this class, so I do like to include a little bit about it. You can have a DVR separate from your cable company, but it's going to be kind of pricey. I wouldn't really recommend it. All right. High-speed internet is very important for this because more than likely most of your programming is going to be over the internet. All right. Don't sweat this too much. I will just say the average broadband internet package that you're going to get, like the most basic one, is going to be enough to do this. What is bandwidth? Your bandwidth is basically the amount of megabytes per second that you're downloading from your internet company so that you can do things like watch your TV. But it also includes stuff like checking your email, checking Facebook, watching videos on YouTube. Anything that you do over the internet is included in that bandwidth. Let's see. Netflix reports that to view one program is about 5 megabytes per second to stream it. Which doesn't sound like a lot because usually people are going to have about 20 megabytes per second at least. But you also have to keep in mind, are you going to have, 2 TVs in your house watching a television show? That's going to double the amount of bandwidth. Are you going to be, checking your email and downloading something off the internet? It's not just the 5 megabytes per second. But like I said, I don't want you to stress too much about this. 20 megabytes per second is usually what I get, and it has never been a problem before. I've never had any buffering issues or any issues. So the website I'm going to recommend to you, and we'll do it right now, is speedtest.net. Now, what speed test is it's going to let you measure how much megabytes per second you're actually getting. And if you're in a situation where I think Joan Rockwell commented that she was having a problem with buffering, this is definitely a good thing to look into because you can see exactly what you are getting at that time. And maybe if you're getting something that's pretty low, you can give your company a call. Now we're going to see, what is this connection right now? So it's going to take a couple of seconds to measure it out. So it looks like this is going to be a good number here. So give it a second. We're in 28, 29, so almost 30 for this one. So that's really good. So a 31 megabytes per second is what this one gets. So this, is really good for live streaming. Now it's going to do your upload. Don't worry about upload. I'm not even going to stay around for upload. Unless you're doing a lot of uploading of videos, actually putting stuff onto the internet yourself, you don't need to worry about your upload speed. The download speed is what's important for you with streaming. All right. All right. And also, all right. You will see some of these devices you can plug directly into your internet from, the cord from the wall. That's always going to be best, but the wireless works just fine. You can, connect these devices to your wireless internet, and it's going to be fine. I've never had, like I said, any problems with using a Wi-Fi connection. I've never, hardwired any of these into the wall. So I say just, if you decide to use these devices, just use wireless. All right. All right, so now we're going to go over the streaming services. where exactly are you going to be getting your television viewing from? Like I said, there are tons of streaming services, and I can't possibly go over them all. But I did want to highlight some of the big ones, because these are really the heavy hitters where you're going to be getting most of what you want is going to be on one of these. So the first one, the granddaddy of them all, is Netflix. Now, Netflix is, like I said, kind of started it all. And they really are kind of the foundation of any streaming service or lifestyle you're going to have is going to be Netflix is going to be part of it. Their packages range from $9 a month to $16 a month. It's important to note that the content you're going to be getting through these is going to be the same. So it's not like if you pay $9 a month, you're going to get less television shows than the $16 a month. When you start going up in price, what you're talking about is, how many people can be watching from this Netflix account at one time. And also higher resolutions start coming into play later into the higher prices. But you're going to receive the exact same content regardless of whether you pay the $9 or all the way up to the $16. They're very much hitting their original programming right now. They still have currently the largest catalog of stuff, but as more people are getting into this game, you will notice that their catalog is kind of shrinking a little bit as some of these companies are starting to take their content on their own and bring it to their own services. But for right now, it's still definitely by far the largest catalog you're going to find. So that's why I definitely recommend, if you're going to try this out, Netflix is going to be part of it more than likely. As I said before, they have a lot of older television shows. They're usually going to be about a season behind, like for instance, Better Call Saul just ended their 5th season. I won't be able to watch it on Netflix until probably next year. A lot of older movies, usually again about a year old, but some newer. They kind of are in the ends of a deal with Disney where they were releasing all the Disney stuff pretty soon after it was released, like on DVD and stuff like that. But they have a huge selection of TV shows and movies for you to choose from. So I think that's definitely one of the biggies that you want to look into. All right, Hulu. Hulu could be a little bit more complicated because there's so many different options, but don't let it scare you. So Hulu has, basically they have an on-demand service and they have a live TV service. What they have is they have on-demand programming for $6 and $12 packages. The $6 package includes limited commercials and the $12 package includes no commercials. Now I will tell you, I don't recommend, it'll save you some money, so maybe it would be worth it for you. But I personally, I think that the no commercials is a lot better just because the commercials can be kind of redundant. It's not like when you're watching regular TV and you're getting a wide variety of commercials. You're basically going to be watching a lot of the same commercials over and over and over again. So if that's something that won't bother you, then go for the $6 option. But $12 will get you out of that commercial. Now, they also have a couple of other options here. $54 will get you their basic limited commercial on-demand service, but it will also give you live television as well, which, especially if you want to be able to watch things live, this would be a great option, $54 for that. So you'll be able to watch it live, but also be able to get it on demand. They also have a $61 option, which includes the live TV, as well as the premium no commercial option. They were basically created by the major channels, Hulu. So they're going to have a lot of the TV shows you see on ABC, Fox, and NBC on demand. So you're going to be able to go see previous seasons of these shows, but also is good for on demand is they offer next day viewing. So I don't know, say you watch NCIS or whatever, and you don't watch it live, it's going to be available the next day on Hulu. Or maybe not NCIS because that's CBS, isn't it? But if you want something that's on ABC, Fox, NBC, they're going to have it the next day for you on demand. CBS, there's only select CBS shows currently now. CBS kind of is doing their own thing right now. They're having their own CBS All Access app, so they're kind of pulling back some of their stuff. Like I said, most shows available the day after they air. Just see. They have a small amount of movies. So this is definitely, while Netflix has a lot of movies, Hulu is really focused on TV, especially those major channels. So you don't go to Hulu for movies, you go for TV. It might be worth asking, is Hulu worth it with an antenna? If you're going to be watching these shows on ABC, Fox, NBC, and CBS for free anyway over the air, if you have the antenna, is Hulu really worth it? Maybe not. So that's something you have to think about. Okay. Amazon Prime. A lot of people already have Amazon Prime, and I've taught this class a lot of times, and people didn't even know they had Amazon Prime to purchase stuff online, but they didn't know they had this option for TV viewing with Amazon Prime. It's included free with the Prime membership. I believe it's now $119 a year for that, but they pretty recently introduced a monthly payment plan if you don't want to make that year-long commitment of $13 a month. Again, they're kind of like Netflix. They're really trying to hit the original programming game. But kind of what makes them unique from Netflix and Hulu, with Netflix and Hulu, kind of what you see is what you get. Like if, you pay the $9 a month and you get everything that displays in Netflix, or you pay, $6 for Hulu, you get everything that Hulu has. With Amazon Prime, it's not so clear cut. With Amazon Prime, they have a lot of stuff that's included with your Prime membership, but they also have a lot of options to purchase things separately, kind of a la carte. So I'm trying to think. SpongeBob. My daughter loves SpongeBob. And they had a lot of the earlier seasons of SpongeBob for free with the Prime membership. But then when she wanted to get to the newer seasons, she was paying, like sometimes $2 an episode, or you could have the option to buy it for $13 a season. So it's kind of a mixed bag. They have a lot of stuff for free, but they have movies for rent. They have TV shows that you can purchase or rent. I still think it's worth it. They have I feel like they have a really strong movie catalog for included in the membership. And it's nice having that option to go in there and rent the newest stuff, like as soon as it comes out. So I really do like it. Like I said, the large library of movies and TV shows that are included. They also have a really cool thing about this. They have a lot of premium TV shows, especially HBO, like, The Sopranos. We're not talking about, like the latest seasons of Game of Thrones, but a lot of the older HBO shows they have on there included with the membership. Let's see. Sometimes my son reports delays with Hulu, especially watching live sports. It's not really. It depends on what kind of delay you're talking about, but more than likely there is going to be a minute or two delay with any of these live streaming things. It's not really to do with the internet speed. It's more just to do with how the service works. It's going to be delayed a little bit from somebody who's watching cable. I hope that answers your question. All right. Also, an added benefit of Amazon Prime. Obviously, the free 2-day shipping is what people sign up for. Is the other big thing people sign up for. But they have a lot of music for free included with the membership, magazine subscriptions, and photo storage if you want to upload your photos and save some space on your computer. That's also included in your membership. All right. Disney Plus. This is one of the newest ones and the biggest newest ones that have come out. They have a couple of different options. Very inexpensive right now. $7 a month, or $70 a year for their basic service. This includes everything with Disney does. Well, not everything. We'll get to that a little bit later. Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, also Fox, National Geographic, that type of thing. They also have a $13 a month bundle, which includes Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and the ad-supported, the most basic version of Hulu, which that is an awesome deal right there, especially if you're a sports person. But even if you're not a sports person, that's still an amazing deal for what you're getting. But the price should increase over time. Right now, kind of when this was coming on the scene, people were like, whoa, this is going to revolutionize everything. Everybody's going to be going to Disney Plus because it's so cool. But then when they actually logged in, Disney Plus still has a ton of their catalog that's kind of contractually obligated to other streaming services. So I kind of feeling that's why their price is so low right now. And as those contracts start coming back to them, I see that price going up over the years. All right. Like I already said, that catalog's still under contract by other streaming services. All right. Now Sling TV. Now we're getting into the services that are really all about live programming. So basically, it's just like your cable company, except it's over the internet, and you don't have that contract. And you have a lot more options as far as packages are concerned for what you actually end up watching. So, Sling TV is $30 for the most basic package. Like I said, it's live cable television with no contract. They have live streaming as well as on-demand programming. On-demand isn't really their forte, but they do have stuff that's on-demand. But really what you're buying this for is if you want that live television viewing experience, but you don't want to be married to the cable company anymore. All right. They have a small bundle of popular cable channels. The smallest, most basic one, I believe, is still at 28 channels for the $30 a month. So it's a very good deal. Obviously, you would probably want to research it before you got in, make sure that your channels are included in that. All right, but here's the sticky part. If you want the most basic thing, you're not going to get any local channels with that. Now, if you have an antenna, that's not a big deal, but if you don't have the antenna, you don't get any of those local channels. But even as you go up in the price, you're only going to get like 2 local channels. They don't have all the channels yet with them. What you're going to see when you get in the cord cutting is there's a lot of different complicated relationships with these companies. And it's hard to find one service that's going to have everything on it. But you got ESPN, which is the biggie, TNT, TBS, History Channel, AMC. So a lot of good channels are included, even with the most basic option. Oh, so like I said, you'll get your cable sports content. Also have an added $5 if you want that DVR functionality to be able to, pause live TV, record live TV, that type of thing. All right. Let's see. I watch Amazon on my tablet, but since I don't have a smart TV, I can't watch it on the TV. Correct? Not correct. We'll be going over the devices you'll need to be able to watch that on your TV a little bit later once we go over all the services. All right. DirecTV Now. This is another option, especially if you have DirecTV, or I think they might have changed their name, but if you're, with that satellite company, and you try to cancel it, they're going to try to push you towards this. So I do like to include a little bit about this in the presentation. You're looking at $50 to $70 a month, depending upon the package that they're getting you. Again, this is a package where you can stream live television. They also have on-demand. More than 45 channels for the most basic package. The cool thing about this, though, it does include HBO, even with the most basic package. So it's a pretty good deal. But they also have the most number of missing popular channels. And we're talking about A&E, AMC, BBC, which is all kind of a no-go for me. Don't really recommend this, but you are going to be sold on it if you're trying to, get off from one of these from DirecTV. So it's good to have that knowledge before they start trying to sell you on that. All right, and again, it provides limited DVR functionality included in the price. All right, YouTube TV. This is a really cool one. It is $50 a month. Again, this is another one where it's live streaming as well as on-demand programming. Let's see, it's still, I think, available in limited markets. It's not really all the way out there yet, but it is available in our area. 56 channels, and it does include the most number of the top channels included, as well as all of the local channels. So this is a really good one if you're wanting, I guess, the most similar experience to what you get with your cable company, because you get tons of those big channels like A&E, BBC, AMC, that type of thing. But you also get all of the local channels. So I really like this one, and it's something that we have access to. Let's see. Somebody asked, what about Sports South? Not sure about that one off the top of my head. Maybe at the end of the program we can kind of look into that and maybe look into that one a little bit more in depth. I have DirecTV through AT&T. Let's see. All right. So Philo. This is another popular one. I didn't used to include this one in here, but it has a very important feature that most don't have. All right, so it is $20 a month, very inexpensive for what it is. Again, this is live streaming television, as well as on-demand stuff. 50 plus channels. The way they keep this inexpensive, though, is they lack sports channels. So if your sports are important to you, you're not going to get it through Philo. But the reason I do have to include this is because literally every time I teach this class, and I've taught it about 5 times, I get asked, what about the Hallmark channel? So they do have the Hallmark channel. I think that there's a couple of different ways to get Hallmark, but kind of the most inexpensive ways to get Hallmark are either if you really just want the Hallmark thing, you don't need live programming. Hallmark has a streaming app, which I believe about $7 or $8 a month if you just want that Hallmark app and nothing else. Or, Philo includes it as part of their channel package. Again, provides limited DVR functionality along with the package. Okay, Vudu. Vudu is basically a great option if you're not an Amazon Prime member. And you want to have the option to rent the newest movies or TV shows. Now, there's no subscription fee for Vudu. You just pay for what you want. So, it's kind of basically just like a Blockbuster. So you can go rent stuff and not have that connection with Amazon Prime if you don't want it. If you don't want to be paying that subscription fee. You just go into Vudu and you can rent basically anything you want. Let's see. You can also upload DVDs for a small fee, but I don't know a lot about that, to be honest, and kind of outside the scope of this class anyway. All right, some other options. You can purchase a lot of your favorite TV shows through iTunes, Google Play, again, Amazon, also Vudu. Let's see, if you're not offered through streaming, still might be, even if it's not offered through streaming, it might still be less than you would have paid for through your cable company. HBO and Starz, also very popular, and they also offer their own streaming apps separate from the cable subscription, which was a problem about a year, maybe 2 ago, where a lot of people weren't able to leave their cable companies because they wanted that HBO. Well, now you have HBO Now, which can allow you to watch your HBO stuff without that cable subscription. Okay. Are these services priced per TV? No, they are not. So basically, what you're going to do is and we're going to go over these a little bit later, but you're going to have a device. So Roku, Amazon Fire, Chromecast, whatever it is. And you're going to hook these up to your TV or TVs, and you're able to watch your subscription from any of those TVs because you're going to enter in your account information onto that device for those services. Now, would you be able to watch, Netflix simultaneously on 3 TVs at the same time? Maybe not. It depends upon the package that you choose. The most basic package, you can only watch on, I think it's 1 TV at a time. But you can, you go from TV to TV as long as you're only watching it on 1 TV at a time. So, no, it is not tied to your TV. It's tied to, wherever you can enter your account information, whether it be your tablet, like somebody was talking about, they watch their shows on their tablets. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your TV. You can watch it on any number of TVs, as long as that device has your account information in it. All right, so now we're going to go over the streaming devices. This is actually what's going to be plugged up to your TV, the thing that's connected to your Wi-Fi, that basically acts as kind of like your cable box, except it's yours. You're not renting it. It's your device for as long as the device lasts. So the ones we're going to go over, we're going to go over smart TVs, a little bit about smart TVs, Roku, Amazon Fire, gaming devices, Apple TV, Google Chromecast. All right, so I don't have a lot to say about smart TVs. So many TV companies are jumping on the bandwagon of streaming that kind of impossible to go over every single type of TV. But you can have a TV that will do this for you. You do not have to have that separate device. Now, what I will say about this is, if your TV works fine and it's not a smart TV, like somebody was mentioning over here, you do not have to go get a new TV to do streaming. You do not have to have a smart TV to do this. Smart TV can be convenient. So if you already have it, great. If you're in the market for a new TV and you want to buy a smart TV, great. But if you already have a TV that works well, I wouldn't go out and get a smart TV just to stream, because the other devices we're going to be going over are so much less expensive, and they do the same thing. The other thing I would warn about smart TVs, as far as going out and getting one specifically for streaming, and this might change over the years, but for now, from what I've researched, is that the TV companies aren't really in the streaming business. It's not really their big thing. They're in the TV business. That's a feature on their TVs, but they're not really in the streaming business. So what that means is oftentimes these devices are going to get periodic updates that they need in order to keep functioning. And from what I've researched is that a lot of the times smart TVs kind of lag with these updates, or even kind of just ignore them and kind of just wash their hands of it. So again, as of right now, I wouldn't go out and get a smart TV just to get one. These devices are a lot more affordable. But again, if you already have it, use it. I mean, there's no reason not to. I'm just saying, don't go get one just to get one. All right, somebody asked, can you watch different programs at the same time? Yes, you can. That kind of depends upon the package. Like I know, like Netflix, they have if you get the most basic package, you can only watch, one program at a time. You watch this program on this TV and nobody else can watch on that account. But if you go up a little bit higher to the next package, you can have 2 people watching. So you can have somebody in the living room watching a movie on Netflix, and then somebody, in the bedroom watching a TV show on Netflix at the exact same time. Or even, kind of a cool thing, especially if you have friends who do this, is you can share your account information. So you can kind of save yourself money there too, where, you might have the Netflix subscription and you buy the one that allows 2 people to watch it. And then your friend could have the Hulu subscription, and that allows a couple people to watch it. And so you guys can share that information, and you're only paying for one service, but you're getting 2. So that is definitely something you want to look into if you have friends who are doing the same thing you are. All right. All right, next up, Roku. Again, this is kind of like Netflix in that it's kind of one of the first ones that was out there. It's definitely the first one I heard about. It was at least 10 years ago at the East Cobb, where I worked at the East Cobb Senior Center. I had one of our seniors come in, and she told us all about Roku and Netflix and how she was done paying for cable. And I looked at her, I thought she was crazy. I thought there's no way you can have all that stuff without being with a cable company. Turns out it was true. So this is one of the first ones. They start at about $30. They kind of go up in price depending upon the features available. Somebody mentions 4K programming. You know, if you want to get that, you're going to have to go for the higher end models of Roku or whatever it is, whatever the device is you want. Again, they're kind of the pioneer of the streaming business. And the other good thing about them is they're most friendly to all the streaming apps. And when I say apps, I mean the things like Netflix, Prime, Hulu, all that kind of thing. Probably about 6 months ago, this presentation was a lot different. The problem with these things is that they're owned by bigger companies. So like Amazon Fire is owned by, Amazon, and Amazon doesn't like Google, who owns the Google Chromecast. So it used to be where if you wanted to watch Amazon Prime, you couldn't do it on a Google Chromecast with a weird workaround. And you couldn't watch YouTube, which is owned by Google, on Amazon Fire because the companies didn't like each other. Now they've recently kind of mended fences. But I've always been wary of of being with companies like that, because it kind of puts you in a pickle if you own one of these devices and I have this service, I want to watch it, and I can't because you guys can't get along. And the good thing about Roku is they don't get into that type of situation, really. As soon as a service becomes available, they are on it, they're getting it to you. Again, I'm not a Roku salesman. I work for senior services. I just find that it's the best one for me just because they get along with everybody. I'll also mention, as far as purchasing a Roku, or any device really, is try to go, if you want to, I would recommend going for a little bit of a higher priced model. I made the mistake of getting the cheapest one, and it works fine, but the thing that you really probably want to look into is the voice-controlled remote. A lot of the times you're searching for things on Roku without the remote. You have this big keyboard on the screen, and you're having to click through every letter. Go A, and then click, 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 click. Z, and click, 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 click. You're having to go all over this board, and it takes a lot of time, and it's frustrating. So I might recommend going for one with a voice-controlled remote, just so you can say, hey, show me Better Call Saul, and it'll pull it right up for you, instead of you having to go B, E, T, T, E. So I definitely recommend a voice-controlled remote. All right. Again, the most channels offered. That's because they're so friendly with everybody. They also have the Roku channel, which is if you do not even have any of the subscription services purchased, along with your Roku, you're given access to the Roku channel, which is a great source of free content, again, with no subscription. Not going to be like the newest and greatest movies, but it has a pretty good selection of older movies in there. It's worth checking out. All right, Amazon Fire. That's another good one. It's very similar to Roku. Starting at about $40. Currently, I say. All the major streaming options are included with them right now. Again, about 6 months ago, they wouldn't have included any type of YouTube stuff in there. Again, they're very similar to Roku in how it operates. It's just the controller, and you just pick out whatever it is you want to watch. Though their interface is a little bit more confusing as far as where they place things. It's a little bit weird looking. While with Roku, it's kind of like when you turn on your TV and you have Roku connected. It shows you Netflix, Prime, Hulu, Sling TV, just these nice clean boxes and you click over to whichever box you're wanting to go to. I click over to Netflix, I go into Netflix. Amazon Prime, they have that, but mixed in with it, they have like all this other busy stuff. Like they'll have like a specific TV show there or a movie here. It's messy. So it's a little bit, that's the only thing I've seen different between a Roku and an Amazon Fire device, is the interface is a little bit more confusing with Amazon. But if you do like the Alexa, they do have, Alexa with Amazon Fire, which is pretty handy, especially with, the voice controlled stuff that Alexa provides. All right. Where do we buy these different devices? That's a good question. Anywhere, really. I mean, you buy them, you can go to Amazon.com, you can go to Walmart, Target, Best Buy. Really, any kind of store where they're going to sell some sort of electronic device, you can find these there. They're very easy to find. They're all over Walmart. If you want to go into Walmart. Do I need a Roku for each television? You do need a device for each television. It doesn't have to be a Roku, but you do need a device for each television. Be it a Roku, be it an Amazon Fire, whatever it is, each television, if it's not a smart TV, each television needs some sort of device to access these apps. Okay. All right. Apple TV. Apple TV is really the most expensive option. $149 and up, which, if you go back, it's a huge increase from what we were talking about before. But I do include it because it is popular, especially with Apple people. Apple people are used to paying more for stuff. So it includes all the major streaming apps. It also has the fastest interface. So while with Roku or Amazon Fire, there might be a little bit of a lag time, not like a huge lag time, but like a smidgen of a lag time between you pushing that button and then it moving over to whatever it is you're searching for. There's going to be a little bit more with a Roku or Amazon Fire than it would be with an Apple TV because, Apple, it's expensive because they really put a lot of thought and effort into making it a smooth, clean thing. Now, it's important to note, I'm not talking about like Roku's going to be slower and more buffering when you're actually playing the video. I'm talking about when you're navigating through the menu to look for what you're looking for. And the voice remote control comes standard, which is definitely cool. Again, it's super expensive. If you're an Apple person, though, you might want to look into it. Another thing people like about it is it probably doesn't mean anything to you if you're not an Apple person, but AirPlay from all your Apple devices. So if you have an iPhone, if you have an iPad, if you have a MacBook, it's seamlessly able to put whatever on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer, onto the screen. So, it might be worth looking into it. I know my mom is an Apple person and she swears by it. Let's see. All right, Google Chromecast. Now, Google Chromecast is a completely different animal from all these other ones. All the ones we've talked about have had a remote. Google Chromecast does not have a remote. And we'll get into how it works a little bit later. So $35 is where it starts out at. It started out, I probably need to update this slide, this little line here, huge in popularity due to the small price. Some of the other devices have come down in price, so it's pretty equal to the other devices, especially the starting line for all these devices. But it's still a really cool device. And it basically your phone, your computer, your tablet, they work as your remote. So what's going to happen is, maybe I can pull it up on, I don't know if you can see it here. Let's see. So what's going to happen is you're going to download the apps to your phone. So you'll download Netflix to your phone, whatever the app is, Hulu to your phone. And then, I don't think you can see it, and I can't preview whether you can see it. Here, let me do it this way. So what you're going to do with the Google Chromecast is you're going to pull up the app, and then you'll just push a button, and whatever it is you're watching on your phone will go right onto the TV. So here, this is what it looks like. It just kind of plugs into your TV. Like I said, like you see, there's no cord with it. Where's the button? I just want to show you what the button looks like. Oh, there it is. It looks like this. And whenever you have it, you'll be able to push that button and connect it right to your TV. The important thing to remember about this is that, where's my presentation? 2, 3, 4. All right. The important thing to remember with this, though, is just because you're playing it from your phone to the TV doesn't mean that your phone is now useless, where the only thing it can do is play that on your TV. You can navigate away from it and check your text messages, surf the internet, whatever you need to do, and still play it from your phone. So it's not like it ties up your phone. It's definitely more of a tech-savvy option. Kind of the Rokus, Amazon Fires, they're very simple to set up. You plug it into your TV, you plug it into the power outlet, you put in your Wi-Fi information, you log into your Netflix account, your Amazon accounts, and you're good to go. While this, you have to go through a little bit more of a hoops to set it up. There's a little bit more involved, and I won't go over too much of it to confuse you, but it's a little bit more tech savvy, but it's convenient. I really like it, but I would, if this is all kind of scaring you a little bit, I would recommend going with something a little easier, like a Roku or Amazon Fire. Let's see. So, kind of to wrap it up, is cord cutting right for you? Do you want to save money? Yes, I assume everybody wants to save money. But, at what costs? If you, are you going to be able to watch all the shows you want to watch? If you don't pay attention, you might start subscribing to more services than you actually need, and it might actually go higher than your cable bill. So you really have to be educated about it. Do you have access to high-speed internet at home? I've taught this class quite a few times, and I've never had anybody who didn't have the requirement for internet, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Don't know too many people with dial-up anymore. Are you willing to wait a few days for your favorite shows? Depending upon the service you provide, you might not be, or the service you subscribe to, you might not be able to watch it live. You might have to, wait a season or two to actually watch the program. So how important is that for you? How much content are you willing to pay for? Again, you got to really pay attention to what you're doing, because, cable's easy. You pay the cable company, they give you the shows. It's pretty simple. But, with this lifestyle, you have to go, okay, I want to watch this show, and I want to watch this show, and I want to watch this show. So I have to know where to find it. Oh, and let me mention this while I'm talking about it. There is a good website, and I don't know why I don't have it in the presentation. Decider.com. If you go to that website, decider.com, you're pretty much able to find out where everything is currently streaming. So you can put it into there. I keep bringing up Better Call Saul because that's what I'm watching. Better Call Saul, and it'll show you every platform you can get it from. So that's a really good website. Or you can just use Google. That's usually what I do. You just Google whatever it is you're wanting to watch. I don't know. The Avengers. You type in The Avengers streaming. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. So go to Google. Let's see. Going a little bit slow since I'm streaming this video for you guys. Better Call Saul streaming. And Google it, and Google knows what you're looking for. So right at the top of the page there, you see everywhere you can get it. If you have the AMC app, you can watch it for free. It's included in Netflix with a subscription. YouTube TV with their subscription. And a lot of Philo with a subscription. You can actually go to just YouTube, not the YouTube TV, which is over here, but the regular YouTube, and buy it for $2 an episode. So, if you're looking for something, that's a good place to do, is just type in whatever it is. I don't know. Let's see. I said Avengers. Let's do Avengers. The Avengers streaming. So again, it's going to pull it up for me. It's included with Sling TV for a subscription, but if I don't have Sling TV and I really want to watch it, I can rent it from all these other platforms. So it's very easy to find where stuff is. It's more the idea of knowing what it is you want to watch. When you have cable, you can just flick through the channels and find something. With this, you have to be purposeful and go, I'm looking for this TV show. I want to watch this. So it's a different, but it's doable. Let's see. That basically concludes the presentation. I'll hang out a couple more minutes to see if anybody has any questions. I think somebody had asked about a specific channel, so I can look that up. And again, Sports South. So if anybody has any other questions, feel free to just type those in. Sports South. Streaming, let's see. How do I watch Fox Sports South without cable in 2020? Let's see. Oops. So this is all the places you can watch it. So you have AT&T Now, Fubo TV, Hulu, Philo, Sling TV. You have a lot of different options out there. So whoever you are, I hope you're still in there and saw that. Again, I'll stay here for a couple more minutes and see if anybody has any questions. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, just to be clear, somebody asked. Just to be clear, will I need an antenna to watch YouTube TV? No, the antenna is simply for those local channels like ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS. They're called broadcast channels. Used to be before cable. Those were the channels you got just, with your antenna. So those channels are still there. To watch YouTube TV and stuff like that, you're going to need that streaming device, the things we went over later in the program, the, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Google Chromecast, that type of thing. That's what you're going to need to be able to stream those. You guys are most welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see. Still got 15 people on here. Thought everybody would be tuning off by now. Oh. Any suggestion for best place to buy antennas? I mean, not really. They're pretty standard. I mean, you can just run down to Walmart right now and pick up one. That would be fine. Or if you want to Amazon it, if you don't want to risk Walmart during these times, you can order it from Amazon. Not really a best place to buy them. You can get them anywhere, just like the streaming devices. You can get them anywhere. My son bought me a Roku and I love it. It was about $35. I can watch so much more. I really do feel like I get more of a variety of stuff since I've changed over. Like I said, a lot less mindless watching. Like I'm watching what I actually want to watch. Well, I still got 13 people on here, but nobody's asking any questions, so maybe they just left it on. But I will put this down. If you have any other questions, just send me an email. I'd be happy to help you with it. That is my email. I just typed it in there. There's such a lag, I can't tell when you guys actually see it. But jonathan.barfield@cobbcounty.org. Shoot me one. Oh, any idea when the center will open again? Not really. But actually, we're there. I know that they're making plans. We actually have a meeting on it today. But stuff like this takes a while. But we're getting close to having a plan out to you guys for what that's going to look like and when. But as for right now, I don't know. All right. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get off. Again, my email address, jonathan.barfield@cobbcounty.org, if you have any questions that kind of pop up later on. And thank you guys so much for joining me today.